Thank you, Tony Walker, and welcome to another episode of the Psychology of Fuckery. I'm Chris Roach. My co-host today is the lovely
Rosie Fiumara.
I want her to say her last name so I wouldn't fuck it up.
You love to fuck up my last name.
You know what I thought of? I'm looking at the logo was the Psychology of Fuckery, and I'm thinking about taking the U in fuckery and I'm going to get like a logo or something and put it over there to make it like a little less in your face. You know, at least for when it's on Facebook. That's another story. I know a guy, Adam Snare. You know Adam Snare, Tony?
Yes, I do.
Good dude. He makes logos. And he made me a couple logos. It's good to have a logo, Rosie. We got to get you a logo.
I got to get a logo. I need a logo.
We're going to get you a logo. Adam's really good
I have a Bitmoji of my head. Really? Yeah, like a picture of myself that's a cartoon that my friend Danny made me.
Maybe we'll put that in the U instead of the... For fuckery, you'll put F your head curry. So check this out. As you guys know, I have sleep apnea. Had many surgeries. Well, 4. And I also had about 5 sleep studies. They're the worst. I don't know if you ever had a sleep study.
Is that where you like have to sleep publicly and they watch you?
Yeah. So you go. They make it nice now. Like I was doing them like 20 years ago, where you knew you were in a hospital, right? But now it looks like a hotel room. It's very cozy at first. Then all of a sudden they start hooking all the wires up to you. I mean, electrodes on your ankles, your legs, your chest. Then they put like you know that when they put stuff on your head, they put like that almost like petroleum jelly so the electrodes stick to your head. It's so gross.
Oh, yeah.
And then they put like a thin microphone under your nose and they duct tape it to your...
How do you sleep like that?
And that's when they go, all right.
Good grief.
They go, all right, it's 9 o'clock, time for bed. I'm like, 9 o'clock? I don't go to bed till 4. So the way they do it is every night, no, you got to be in bed by 10, lights off and TV off by 10, and they wake you up at 6 a.m. So the first few tests I took, I was like, did I even fall asleep? Yeah, you fell asleep for an hour and a half. I'm like, I did? I don't even remember falling asleep. And now I just, I do what I have to do or take what I have to take to get to sleep, They say not to, don't take any kind of sleep aids, but I'm like, I won't fall asleep unless I am...
What's your drug of choice, like Tylenol PMs?
I like melatonin's good.
Okay, but that's more natural. That's like a softer side. I thought you were going to be like,
Indica, a little marijuana.
Okay.
A little marijuana.
I thought that was all right.
That's lovely. I know some people when they fly, they'll take like a sleep pill and then they'll hit the alcohol. I was taking Valium for flying, which I thought was great because, I mean, you watch the internet, there's so many videos of people beating the shit out of each other on airplanes because the seating is ridiculous. I've been lucky enough to fly first class before, and I'm in first class, like this should be coach. Like my ass still hurts after 2 hours, and okay, it's great, nobody's on top of me, but in coach, I mean, you literally have to make that decision. All right, is my right arm going to be on top of this stranger's right arm or underneath? It's like a weird thing, and
I don't know how somebody your height could ever be comfortable in a regular.
Well, that's the thing. I can never ever fly coach. I have to every time I fly. I have to spend an extra $50 to $80 each way to get the Comfort Plus or the what do you call it? The aisle.
Yeah.
The exit, the emergency exit.
Yes.
I'm used to that. Like they always ask you those questions. Will you be able to help in case of emergency? I'm like, yeah, I'll be able to help her.
Yeah, because it's family.
Right. Just somebody wake me up, let me know we're in trouble, and I'll open the door. So this, I actually thought about writing the airlines, or why should I have to pay extra money for my height? Like I could see, okay, some people I feel bad when I see it, but some people have to pay extra because of their weight, and one person can be like, all right, well they did that to themselves.
So is that really true though, that people buy 2 seats? Is that true?
I mean, if people are obese, they have to buy it because they kind of, you could actually pull up the armrest and spill out. It's a horrible thing to say, but spill out.
Well, that happened to me one time flying home from Puerto Rico.
What
this
happened?
man looked so uncomfortable. He was very heavy, and he was sitting next to me. We were in the 2-seater, and I was by the window, and I finally just said to him mid-flight, because the seat, the arm was cutting him. I saw him.
Yeah.
Like, it was cutting him. I said, there's no way this poor man could possibly be in. And he was a young guy. So I said, you can lift that up if you're more comfortable. Well, he lifted it up, and for the rest of they couldn't find me.
You were on the wing?
They couldn't find me until we landed. And I was trying to be nice, but from now on, you got to keep your shit together, and that armrest better stay put.
That happened to me, but with a woman, yeah, and she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's all right. I felt so bad for her. And after a while, it was kind of snuggy.
You're like, you know what?
It's kind of snuggy. Do you mind if I lay on you?
Men have fetishes. They like that.
Some men do, which is interesting. Remind me to come back to the sleep study. You're talking about fetishes. Some men, I feel like, me in particular, I like meat on a woman. I like curves. I don't like skeletons. You ever see somebody that you find them attractive and they lose weight and they start taking pictures of themselves and they think they look beautiful, but you're like, are you sick? It's like some people take they do these surgeries, or they go on these weight loss freaking campaigns, and I'm like, but you look better with the 40 pounds on you.
I sort of feel like a lot of men actually feel that way, whereas women are the ones that put the pressure on themselves to look a certain way for other women.
No, a friend of mine was like doing some modeling, and she showed me pictures from like a few years back. And when I first met her, this is my God's honest truth. I thought she was like being brave, like a woman who is facing cancer puts on a wig and it's showing like, I'm still brave, I'm still me, I'm still going to do it. And I was like, I thought she was being brave, and when I told her that, she got offended. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I thought you were sick. You were sick. And yeah. And yes,
you are so smooth with the ladies.
I know.
Wow.
I know. Go figure where I am right now.
You should really start writing Hallmark cards.
I'm the worst.
All right, so tell me about you laying in the bed.
I'm the worst.
They have Vaseline on your face. They have a microphone in your nose.
So Rosalita, do you like that name? Rosie? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I like it too. Okay.
Rosalita.
I call my dog is Lilu. I call her Lelawita.
Oh, that's a cute one.
It's my baby. Anyway, so I'm on social media and I keep seeing these. I did it at the sleep center. It's a Northwell Health Sleep Center, and it's right in Garden City, right? So notice how he sniffed to the side. I forgot to take them. I got those 2 little magnets you put on your nose and it separates you because I get very stuffy. Okay, that's another. Okay.
Have you had your adenoids removed?
No, I don't think I did. I got to check if I did. I had everything removed.
You told me they scraped up and they scraped down.
The tonsils are out, the punching bag cut in half, and they carve, they scrape. Yeah. Yeah. No gag reflex.
It's a lot.
So I'm getting all these ads on social media. If you were a patient at Northwell Health Sleep Center between such and such a dates, you may be entitled to a large cash award because there was an employee that taped the patients in the bathroom. He put up a camera, a fake fire alarm, and he was filming patients in the bathroom.
I heard about this.
Yes. So I'm like, oh my God. And I Google what would be the cash amount. They said on average people get like say $43,000. In a similar case, people got $43,000. So I call them up and I'm talking to the person like I don't care if the guy filmed me. I just want to. They'd be like, "Did it offend you?" I'm like, "Yes, it offended me." Please.
I'm distraught now. I don't know if I could
can't
ever
go-
sleep alone.
I haven't crapped again. I can't crap alone. Yeah, whatever. So it turns out he was recording people from October of 2022 to till April of 2024. My sleep study test was early May 2024.
Oh my God.
I missed it out by like 3 weeks. I'm like, son of a bitch, guy. Oh, man. If they would have found that 3 weeks later, I have a nice check.
Was it men and women he was filming?
He was filming anybody who went to that bathroom. So
it was a gender type of neutral
yeah,
sort of single
we
thing.
don't know if he was filming, just looking for the women or the men. I'm like,
I think about that all the time. When I
do?
stay like in an Airbnb or when I go into like a kind of like a shady sort of place and use a bathroom, I'm always like,
right.
what in here could be a camera, especially in an Airbnb?
Yes.
I mean, look, I'm not really running around, putting on performances, but still, it's like a privacy thing.
No.
Like, you have a moment in the bathroom. I've had moments in the bathroom I don't even want to see myself.
Right.
No less other people having proof.
Right. Nobody wants to just saying from someone else's experience, no one wants to find out that there was a camera in the hotel room while you're getting pegged because, that could be really hurtful.
It could be.
It could be hurtful.
It could be.
So,
especially if you're into those, fetishes.
Not me. Anyway, I heard a friend of mine
Asking for a friend.
asking for a friend. So the sleep center lawsuit, I missed out by a few weeks. Damn it.
Damn it, that bastard had to get caught in April.
I know. 2.5 years he was doing it. Why couldn't I?
I mean, really, for 2.5 years, you really want to see somebody go into the bathroom for 2.5 years? Like that many moments in the bathroom you need
They
to...
caught him.
This is like a sick person.
They caught him in the bathroom on his laptop looking at the videos of it, the footage. You know what? I think I might have a lawsuit because the fact that I missed it for a month
Has given you such duress.
anxiety because I'm like, oh my God.
I could have had an extra 43 grand,
I'm gonna
and
get a
now I
Dodge.
don't because this asshole got caught too soon, and now I can't function.
Right. I'm going to get a Dodge Challenger. I'm going to... Oh, God. So I want to do something. I'm going to try something to do in every episode where the podcast is the psychology of fuckery. And I always consider myself a student of the human behavior, and I'm fascinated with why people do things and the psychological reasons behind them. And so I found this word, this psychological term called the Electra complex, which has to do with women and the exact opposite. You said it before?
Oedipus.
The Oedipus complex.
It's the opposite.
The opposite. So the Electra complex would be a woman in, like they say when you're like 3 years old, you fall in love with the parent of the opposite sex, and you look at your parent of the same sex as competition.
Huh.
So for you, it would be you love your dad and you hate your mom. Like, this bitch has got to go. When you're when you're 3 years old, you're
like what's like Stewie.
yeah, like Stewie. It's you vile woman, you. And for the man, I guess, like for my case, it means that I love my mom and I hate my dad. So I look back, I'm like, I don't think I had that. And this takes place within the ages 3 to 6, what they call the phallus years. Doesn't phallus have to do with a penis?
Yeah, I mean anything phallic is like like where you see the male genitalia.
Yeah.
The imagery. Like
What? Yeah.
a banana or
A phallic symbol.
Topo Chico bottle.
Why is it a what bottle?
A Topo Chico.
Oh, is that the bottle you have?
Topo Chico.
What are you drinking again? Is that a Mexican?
It's Mexican fart water.
Mexican fart water. Mm-hmm. Hold on.
Because it's much more carbonated than others.
Oedipus.
Mineral water, and it's carbonated. It's intense.
The Electra complex in Freudian, Neo-Freudian. Ooh, Neo-Freudian. That sounds pretty badass. Psychology describes a girl's unconscious attraction to her father and rivalry with her mother during the phallic stage of psychosexual development, roughly ages 3 to 6. And the men, the same thing would be edifice, which is spelled O-E. So I thought it was like Odie's edifice. I think it has to do with like a Shakespearean character or something.
Yeah, he was like Romeo and Juliet's, like,
Edifice. He wanted to bang his
friend.
mom, He wanted to bang his mom, and he stabbed his father in the stomach, and that was Caesar. I just, anyway, it reminds me of, I don't know if we touched on this last time, how some people feel like people tend to marry their parent or somebody just like them.
Yeah.
It took me a while, like when I realized I married my mother, 100% I married my mother. And then after a while, I'm like, I can't have sex with my mother anymore. This is sick. And so that's where we are today. And
I actually think for me, it was a little bit the opposite. And I love my father very much, but we butt heads. We're very much the same person. And Anthony, who I've been married to for almost, together, we've been together for 20 years. He's very different than my father.
Anthony is?
Yeah.
All right. So it's not always the case.
He's very different than my father. He's much more calming and soothing. My father was
right.
like,
Oh, so.
And if I had that, we would have murdered one another.
Right. So the fact that he was the opposite of your father was like a big.
Yeah, even now we're like separated, and we're like, I just talked to him on the way here. We're like, I love him. He's a great human being, and we're, co-parenting and doing everything nice. If I was with another human being like me,
right,
forget it.
Oh no. Same thing with me. I couldn't be with somebody, and maybe I haven't. Trying to think about in the past, have I been with somebody like me who's just like a scatterbrain and self-centered and has a phallus fetish? No, I don't. No, it's like, can you be with somebody like you? You can't. No, I can't.
I think people that marry somebody just like them, it's very strange.
Oh.
And besides the fact that a lot of couples wind up looking like each other.
Yes.
Over time.
Again, I remember my friend, her father was an alcoholic, and he drank himself to death. But she would always go after guys with drug problems, like she was trying to save them. And it's sad that, sometimes you see if the father's like a real screw up, the daughter seeing this will think it's okay. Well, I have a husband with a substance problem, but this is the norm for me.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Because you find comfort in what's familiar.
Yes.
Good or bad, right?
Right.
I feel like that's a lot of it.
Right. That's
and
why
when we're little, I think you always hear like moms say, the girls love my husband so much, and the boy loves me. You know, he's my boy. They always love their mommy. And I think there's something to that complex. I mean, not everybody's going to fit within, but I think overall, you have a lot of that.
I miss you, Mom. Okay, thank you. What was I going to say about mother? Anyway, I actually went to several couples therapists.
Several? What, do they throw you out?
One fired us. She fired us. Like, we were seeing her last year. And she had mentioned that she had just gone through a separation and how great her and her ex get along, and they have the kid. But every once in a while, I could see her look at me like she just hated me. I'm like, and I said to Diane, I'm like, I am triggering this woman. I'm telling you, there's something about the way she looks at me that I must remind her of her ex-husband or somebody. And after like 5-6 sessions, she texts me. She goes, Chris, I'm sorry, but I can no longer see you guys. I feel like that you just use humor as a way to avoid. I'm like, yeah, I use humor to avoid. Yes, I do. I'm a comedian, and that's my thing. And you're the psychologist, and you got to help me get past that, right? And I told her, I said, she's like, I don't know what to do for you guys. I'm like, you're doing it. You have us here talking. We're in your office. We're talking. You're doing it. And I thought she was doing a great job and I wrote to her, and I said, I'm so sorry. I feel like maybe I triggered you, blah, blah, blah. And her response was like, she responded to me immediately which normally she would take like a day or two. She goes, no, this is not about me. This is about you, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, obviously there's a little truth about how quick you responded to me and how you keep saying the word me. This has nothing to do with me and me and my, me and my. I'm like, maybe a little bit it does.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit it does. But it was so funny. I got fired. We got fired, you know?
And then what happens with all the progress that you've made at that point? You have to start over with
no,
somebody
you know
else.
what? You just, and then also when you go back to where you were, you're like, all right, and then you stop. Next thing you know, you're not arguing anymore, and you're just like, all right, we're back in the status quo where, you know, we're just getting along and day by day, and I guess that's the best you can hope sometimes. Just we're not at each other's throat, and we get along. I guess that's it. But I just remembered what I wanted to say before. You were saying that how people sometimes gravitate towards what they're used to as far as relationships with and how they grew up. And my therapist thinks I tend to gravitate towards emotionally unavailable people.
Yes.
Emotionally unavailable. So, like I always say, my parents, I was very, very lucky. I had two parents that loved each other. They loved me. My father, God rest his soul, was an NYPD officer, so he worked these, what they call 9 squad charts, I think they were called. They would do 2 weeks of day tours, 2 weeks of 4 to 12s, 2 weeks of midnights. The man was always sleeping because he was exhausted. Not only, we lived in Ronkonkoma, he's traveling, he commuted.
Oh, where was he based out of, Queens or Brooklyn?
In Manhattan. He was transit. So his commute was probably like a total of like 5 hours.
Oh my God, yeah.
5 hours.
That Ronkonkoma commute.
No.
I mean, you better be saving a lot of money on taxes, because you are spending hours of your life.
And he said he would take that 2-hour ride home. He would put on his Walkman. Back then, there were Walkmen, and he would listen to his Huey Lewis and the news. And he said it was his way of unwinding, or he would kill us if he didn't have that 2 hours. So, yeah, what was I saying?
Emotionally unavailable people.
Yeah.
I think that there's something to that. You know, like I feel like I have friends, and they'll date men, and you'll say, well, why are you dating that guy?
Right.
He's never going to give you what you want.
Right.
He's not available because he's either involved with somebody else, or he's told you up front, I don't want this, I don't want that. And somehow you think you're going to change all of that.
You're not going to.
But yeah, you're not. But in the same right, I think those people at the back of their head, they know they're not.
Right.
And they have comfort in that because it can never get to that next level, or it can never be something that they're really probably afraid of having or being with that person. So that's the excuse. Oh, well, they this or they that. I knew that they weren't going to want,
Right.
It's a lot of excuses that we make and the choices that we make. I've seen it over and over, and it gets worse, I feel like, when people get older and they date.
Oh, yes.
Because people have exes and they have kids and they have baggage and they have who's in a basement apartment and who's here and who's there, and they, people have these lives, and you have to just kind of accept everything that comes with them.
Yeah, my wife and I are talking about, because we're still best friends and we want to be in each other's lives. So we're thinking about maybe getting like a split level house. She lives on the top, I live on the bottom, or we get an apartment with 2 bedrooms, or whatever.
Yeah.
She's been in my life for 25 years.
But you know what? And you know what? Years ago, people would be like, "What is he, fucking crazy?"
No.
I think it's like, I think it's just kind of like a new normal with the way life is. And it's so expensive, especially, well, almost everywhere. But where we are, I know so many couples that are together just because of financial reasons.
It's cheaper to keep her, as I would say.
Yeah, it's impossible to pay a mortgage on one and then get an apartment here and then all the other. It's like, you know what? Let's just if you're lucky enough to have a nice basement, somebody live there and the kids can go up and down.
You move into the basement. If I had the room right now, I'm sure she would love to have, like, we have our schedules. She goes to bed at 10 and I don't come in the bedroom sometimes like 3. So, and then she gets up at like 8, and I don't get up till like 11 on a good day.
Yeah. And it's like ships in the night. And at that point, I mean, after all these years, you've accepted that this is where we are. This is our lifestyle. This is our time schedule. This is all the thing. And then sometimes things can, we have an event together, or we have something we have to do together. But oftentimes it's just become a routine, and you owe it to that person and to yourself to maybe give them the opportunity to find what is not happening in that particular relationship.
Yeah.
But you could also still maintain a friendship and even like a roommate situation or love in a different kind. But here's where that would get complicated then, right? So
Right.
now you're living that way and everything's fine and you're making this normal. But then somebody has somebody, and then they want to have more privacy, or maybe they want to live with just them. And then that person says, "What the fuck is this 6'9" guy in the kitchen
Right.
in his underwear with his
6'6",
sleep
but-
apnea mask on, making a fucking ham sandwich at 2 a.m.? Get this fucking guy out of here."
Hey, Billy, how you doing? How you doing? Am I snoring too loud?
Why
I'm
does that
sorry.
bathroom smell like that?
I'm sorry, that's patchouli.
And
after
why
I
is
crap.
there a camera in the bathroom?
Well, that's the only way I can crap now after some guy filmed me at a
I'm
sleep
traumatized
center.
that I didn't get filmed.
Now I can only crap with a camera on. Oh, God.
That's where I could see it getting really weird.
Yes. When somebody finally dates someone else.
Yeah, it's one thing if it's in a separate, like I haven't gotten to a point where I would ever, like I can't imagine myself bringing somebody into Cole's life for like a long time. Like I'm not
Right.
there yet, and he's not there yet, my son.
Yeah.
And you know what, you can do things and you could do them privately and not have to bring them into the home. But you don't have children, do you?
Well, I have one, but he's older now. He's 30.
Okay,
Yeah,
you don't
he's-
have like a little guy
No,
around
no.
the house. Okay.
It's our dogs now.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have the dogs, but those are babies.
Those are our babies.
You would wind up fighting over babies.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, you could make it work. It's a modern day situation. Many people are living this way. And I think a lot of people wish they had the balls to live that way.
Yes. Also, I know a few people that I've known in my life, especially over the last few years, that they want a divorce. They want to be separated, but as far as their spouse is concerned, they don't want them, but they don't want anybody else to have them.
Yes, that's weird.
That's like an ego thing, right?
That's weird.
I don't want to have sex with him. I don't want to be married to him anymore, but he can't have anybody else.
Yeah, that's selfish.
It is.
That's weird.
It takes a while. You'll get over it, but
I mean, I could understand, like, even though I feel like, this is what I want personally, but
Right.
I could imagine like being at a party and Anthony shows up with this new girl. Like I could imagine that being
at first,
weird.
It's going to be weird at first.
Would I be upset with him? No. Would I be upset with her? No. Would it be a little strange? Of course it's going to be a little
It's
strange.
a new yeah.
But it would be the beginning of a new normal, and
Yes.
you have to sort of accept that there are other things that come along with this new normal that maybe are uncomfortable and new. But to prevent somebody from wanting them to have their own happiness, if you're seeking your own happiness, is totally selfish.
Right. And then on the flip side, I know people where they're together and they're not having sex, and the one spouse says, "You have to go get it. Go get it. I don't want to know about it. Don't fall in love with him, and don't get him pregnant."
Yeah.
I've known someone like that. And that's an interesting, it's almost like she's saying, "I still want to be married to you, but, just go take care of your thing. Just go out of the house and come back.
I know a couple.
Right?
I know a couple similar to that.
Just take a shower before you go to bed.
They have their boundary. They have like, I'm going to go out 2 nights a week, and we can't afford to live apart.
Right.
And this is going to be my life, and I'm not going to bring anything home, and I'm not going to let you get involved in any of that. And
Right.
you have your own life when you need it.
Yes.
But if you want us to stay together, this has to be the way it's going to be.
Right.
Because I can't live like this
They will-
anymore. And their significant other went, okay, and then started trying more.
Oh.
But then he was like, this is for naught. Like,
Right.
we had 7 years.
It's very, yeah.
We're not going to pretend right now that things are going to be okay. This is where I'm at. And it took me a long time to accept that and come to terms with that. And my reality is it was hard to say those words, not going to backpedal now
Right.
to be back where we were in 6 months.
I think it's very common for when one spouse finds out there's people interested in the other spouse, that all of a sudden they're going to step up their game. They don't want them anymore, but all of a sudden they're like, whoa, wait. And they panic, and then all of a sudden you get back into the rhythm again, and everything's where it was. 6 months pass, and you're like, oh, God, what did I do? It's a complex world out there.
It is a complex world. I mean, I really don't believe that people are meant to be with the same person from the beginning of their 20s until they die. I just don't.
God. Oh my God.
I just don't. I really don't think that it's a natural thing. I just think that people, and it's not because you don't love that person or because you don't go into a marriage or go into a relationship thinking, oh, when is this going to end? Or this is definitely going to end. Or else why would you do it? But I feel like people grow. Some people grow up, some people grow out, some people get into different things, or they get into collecting things or sports or music or comedy or,
right.
And they find their thing or they find their home, and maybe that other person doesn't relate, or that person doesn't change at all, and the other person changes, or maybe this one goes this way.
Uh-huh.
It's like lazy eyes. One's going this way, one's going the other way. No one's seeing the front.
No, it's like a Marty Feldman marriage. Well, that was pretty good. Old reference, but
I think you have to have a line of communication either way. I think a lot of people just don't say how they feel, and things get buried and things don't. You have to be honest, because sometimes that person might be feeling the same way.
Yes, and I saw a therapist on Instagram. He goes, I may have said this in a past episode, so forgive me, but he goes, I've been doing couples therapy for over 20 years, and I found out all marriages end because of one common denominator, the same thing, and it's called, what does he call it? It's called what is it called? Wait. Sorry.
I'm looking at Tony's face over there.
You know what it is? It's uncommunicated expectations.
What?
Uncommunicated expectations.
Yes, that's it.
He goes, I'm mad at you, and I'm not going to tell you why I'm mad. You got to figure it out. And because you don't know what I'm now not going to talk to you. And it's like, now I'm going to resent you. It's like, and you bottle it in, and it builds and builds and builds to the point where, sometimes it gets to the point of no return, the resentment. It's like years and years of not communicating and expecting them to be a certain way, or expecting to know how you're feeling. So that's, I said if I ever get married again, I'm going to go into couples therapy like the next day.
That's who should marry you.
Yeah. What's that?
Have a couples therapist just marry you.
Oh God. We had a woman marry us, a whatever you call them. She wasn't a priest, officiant, whatever you call them. And she had me write my feelings for my wife on paper. She goes, I just want to get a feeling of how you feel. So let me know how you feel about Diane. And I wrote all these nice things about her, about being best friends. And the wedding comes, and she read the whole thing in front of my friends and family.
Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Ooh.
I was mortified. I'm already sweating because I always sweat when I wear.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Wasn't that just to be for her to have things to say?
So she knew how to write her sermon or whatever, and she read the whole thing, and I was freaking humiliated.
But I'm sure it was beautiful.
It was beautiful, but there was some
because
things,
I'll tell you,
about
I've
the
never met
pegging
Diane,
and stuff
I've only hung out with you a couple of times, and you don't say one bad word about her.
And I can't.
You don't. You really don't. And I think that's a nice thing, because a lot of people walk around and talk a lot of shit, and that's not nice either.
I couldn't say this. No, hold on. She has OCD. Did you ever see the movie Sleeping with the Enemy? Mm-hmm. When the guy grabs Julia Roberts by the hand and brings her into the bathroom with towels?
Uh-huh.
That's how I live. She has OCD, and when I go on the road, she loves it. She cleans. She's like, I love it because... And I notice, right before I come back from the road, I'll talk to her the day before. She's like almost cranky. She's like, oh, now you're going to come home, you're going to shit everything up. I swear, I walk around after I feed the dogs, I'm like, oh, God, I can make sure it's not a speck of pumpkin puree on the counter, whatever it is. I go to the bathroom, I got to wipe down the mirror, make sure there's no splashes of water on the mirror. And the bed, making the bed, make sure that it's even on one. It's like all these things I would never care about, but I gotta be, Then I wake up in the morning and sometimes I.
There's always one like that though in a relationship.
Yeah.
There's one slob, like the Odd Couple.
Mike Vecchione, great comedian, he had a bit that was going viral because people were using the audio, and it was couples using the audio, and the audio was, in order for a relationship, a marriage to succeed, there has to be two type of people. One person who is normal, one person who is boring, and the other person crazy. He goes, boring and crazy is the only thing that works. You need one person to be boring and the other person to be crazy. So that was going all over like
it's kind of true,
media.
but isn't it nice to have, like, like when I go out with friends and like I'm a little off the wall, and then I'm with some of these crazy comedians in here, and they're off the wall.
Yes,
it's so fun.
I love it.
I mean, could that sustain and last? I don't know. But it is fun. I mean, when you have two zany people out there like talking shit at a diner and laughing all night.
It's great. But then you need to come back and like refuel. Did I hear the door, by the way? I don't know. You need to come back and like my life is so chaotic sometimes, and then I come home and it's like, everything's clean.
That's a nice way to live, though, to not have anything, to live in an organized
there's
setting.
Candles lit, yes.
Oh, how nice.
She's very like,
is she looking for another roommate?
Us, you know what, we do have a spare room if you want to come over.
Candle, did you say candles?
Yeah, she makes,
and no splatter on the mirror.
No splatter on the mirror. There are times if I miss the bowl, she'll bring me into the bathroom. Can I swear to God, because come in here a second to the bathroom.
When you put the dog's nose in
yeah
what to do?
She has like a Clorox wipe in one hand, and she hands it to me. She goes, wipe up your pee.
I like her.
And I swear to God, I'm like, where?
And she colors hair?
Yes.
Oh, I like this woman.
I'm like, where?
Bring her on.
I don't see, where? I don't see pee. Where? Oh, God. What's the matter, Tony? I thought I heard somebody banging on the back door.
No. The fly.
There is a fly.
He's on the camera. He's on your camera, Rosie. It's crazy.
Is he?
What?
Can you see him on the film?
Well, you can see it.
It's like,
haven't seen it. There's
oh, there it is. Oh,
there
yeah.
It is. Oh, look at him.
It's like the movie The Fly.
He's like,
wow, look at the block.
He's going to get me. I'm going to get you.
Oh, my God.
There's a delay, but he's going to get me.
Look at how holy shit.
I see him. It's like the Blob.
Remember when the fly landed on Pence's head?
Look. I'm looking at him.
Was it Pence's head? Vice President Pence?
Oh, yes.
That fly, I think, ruined.
Yes.
Oh, wrong hand. I'm like, squeezing the booby.
Nice.
It's weird looking at the delay.
So, guys, when 4th of July happens, I always feel like summer's almost over, and it really has just begun, but it always makes me sort of feel like,
yes.
And then I went to Home Goods the other day to go get something. No, it wasn't Home Goods. It was Hobby Lobby. I had to get something at Hobby Lobby. Everything was Halloween, and they had Christmas coming in at the back end of the store.
Yes.
I said, does anybody have any graduation ribbons? And they were like, graduation?
Graduation? That was like last month.
Yeah, but people are still celebrating people's graduations
that's
and
true.
having little. I mean, this was like 3 weeks ago. I needed some ribbon for the end of school stuff for Cole's. Like I'm one of the class moms, and I was doing a little thing and they looked at me like I was asking for Christmas,
right?
Which would have been easier for them to find at that point.
Yeah, they're right on to the next one.
Right on. It's a little crazy.
Halloween has gotten like, as far as the decorations, it's gotten bigger. We didn't have when we were younger. We had cardboard cutouts.
You had that green nose witch.
Yeah, with those little crinkle legs.
You had the silhouette of the witch on a broom with the moon.
That's right.
And it was every classroom had the same ones. Those
yes.
classic vintage
yes.
images from Halloween.
Right.
I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday.
So do I.
Oh my God. I go all out. I threw a kids party at my house and I went a little overboard. It was when that Netflix special with Dahmer was big.
Right.
I didn't tell anybody. I brought a mannequin home from the store.
Relax.
And I wrapped it. I wrapped it in garbage bags with silver masking tape, and I put blood all over the bathtub. And on the shelf that you could see as soon as you walk in, I had a fake hand with blood, and it was in between two pieces of bread. And then on the wall it said "help," and there were handprints and footprints and blood everywhere. And
Right.
but this is for children,
That's my next
I know, but I
question.
went, and a couple of them have like little siblings.
Right.
Do you know that there are 2 children that are still? I mean, they were 3, 2.5. They still say to their parents once in a while, "I don't like that bathroom at Cole's house. I don't like that bathroom. I don't like the bathroom."
Oh my God.
And Anthony opened up the door and he was like, "Jesus Christ, Rose, what are you doing here? This is crap." I'm like, "Leave my bathroom alone."
It's art.
I love it. I
It's
love
art.
it. There has to be a little horror in Halloween.
I like it.
But I do a graveyard in the whole front of my house.
Oh, I
make
love it.
Into a cemetery.
I love that stuff. Yeah.
My nieces got so embarrassed when they come up for July. I like to spoil them a little. And one year I took them into Rockville Center and we went to Starbucks and I told them they could go shopping at Mystique Boutique and we went all over. We did all kinds of things that day. And when we were leaving Starbucks in Rockville Center, there's an entrance in the front and there's an entrance in the back which takes you into a parking lot. There's a dumpster. And in the dumpster, hanging out of it in July, was a fucking skeleton. A full-size skeleton. It was wearing a green Starbucks apron, which was soiled and disgusting. And it had one missing hand. But still, it's a whole...
Sure.
My nieces were like, "What are you going to do?" I'm like, "I'm taking it." They're like, "You're not taking that. Zizi, you can't." They call me Zizi. "Zizi, you can't take it. That's so embarrassing. Oh my God, I'm going to like walk ahead. I can't. I'm like, "I did fucking walk ahead." You know what? You want to ride home? You're going to get in the car with the skeleton. Well, I dragged this guy out of the dumpster and I took off the thing. And now every year he's a pirate.
Wow.
And we put his eyes turn red. It's amazing, this thing. I put
Awesome.
a patch, I put a pirate hat, and I put a hook.
Right.
Missing. He's a big fan favorite in the neighborhood.
So
now.
you decorate almost as much as Christmas, or just as much, or more for Halloween?
I think about as much. I love
Yeah.
Halloween. I think it's the greatest holiday.
That's
ever.
awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, my friend Leah, she's invited me to her party this year, and supposedly she goes all out. I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait.
It's so fun. I love a good Halloween party.
Yeah, but I'm like, I haven't put a costume on in years.
Do you do funny costumes? Do you do like packaged costumes, or do you? I'm not looking down.
It's
on
usually-
packaged, I kind of am, but you know what I mean.
I do something that we create.
I love that.
Yeah, like if I'm going to be like, one time I was like a 70s porno guy, stuff like that. And one time I think I was like a Viking or something like that. That one I did rent from a costume store. Like rented it.
I remember those.
You rented
Do you
a
remember
costume.
when you used to go to like the U-Haul store and they
Yeah.
had like the rental area?
Uh-huh. This one was in Lindenhurst at a nursery on Sunrise Highway, and I rented 2 years. One was a Three Musketeer, and the other was a Viking. But you know what I always wanted to do? I wanted to try to be for Halloween, Frankenberry.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
I would have to get a bald wig. I would have to shave, which I hate shaving because I look like a big thumb, and a lot of pink Pepto-Bismol-ish coloring. I want to be Frankenberry.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
I have
and then
the
you
physique.
you should have somebody else be like Count Chocula.
Count Chocula.
My mom went one year as Snap, Crackle, and Pop when I was a kid with her girlfriends, and it was so funny. It was really clever, and it was adorable.
That's adorable. Yeah.
I'm going to show you something.
We're showing pictures.
While you talk the next topic, I just got to show you my most recent
What
one.
is my
that I
next
love.
topic? What I write laptop fingering.
Oh my goodness. This year, I went as Annie.
Oh, you're adorable.
Look, I went as
Oh.
Annie. And it was partly inspired by Roseanne
Yeah.
because I met her that year. My girlfriend's daughter played Miss Hannigan. She got the part of Miss Hannigan in the play.
Rosanna Sorrentino, yeah.
And I did her daughter's wedding. Her daughter just got married. So I got to know her on some shows with
Right.
Barokia. And then it was like the year of the Annie.
Right.
And I just love Annie. So I said, and I bought this dress a year and a half prior at a thrift shop in the city. And it's been sitting in my closet.
perfect.
I'm like, it's so Annie.
It's so Annie.
And then I said, I remember my friends were like, why'd you buy that? I'm like, I don't know. I had to have it.
It's going to be Annie one of these years.
So that was this year. I love Halloween. It's the best. I love when people are creative. Like one year, Anthony and I went as I was Cruella de Vil, and he was a Dalmatian.
That's great. Wow, you look great there. Look at you.
Evil bitch.
Scary.
She's my favorite villain because she's fashionable.
She is fashionable.
She doesn't like dogs. No offense. I like other people's dogs.
You don't like dogs.
I don't want my own. They're so involved.
You don't like dogs.
They're too much. You got to come home for them.
Thank you for tuning in to the Psychology of Fuckery. We'll be ending it early today.
Where we talk about Rosie's inability to love dogs.
Do you like
Did
cats?
you ever see the movie Up? With the old man
I know you're talking about. I never saw the movie. Was it a tearjerker? Wow. Wait, is that you as the old man?
Yeah. He's the best. I love Halloween, as you can say.
Yes.
But that's it. Let's see. Maybe you'll do a Halloween show this year.
All right.
And everybody wears costumes.
You know, looking at the camera, Tony, next time I'm going to get like books and I'm going to bring the microphone up so I don't have to be like this. It's me. The problem is me. I'm a freakishly big person.
You are freakishly tall.
Oh, yeah, you don't need the books. You just need to look up.
Hi guys.
Imagine if you fell asleep.
No, it doesn't. Because my neck is doing this. It's got to be up like this.
That sound you made was so like snory. Like imagine if you were like, what do they call them, narcolepsy? When you have narcolepsy and you just fall asleep anywhere.
Oh.
Imagine if you had sleep apnea but narcolepsy. And
I was on that medication. Yeah, I was on that medication for. Here we go. This would be perfect for me right here.
That's so weird. Uncomfortable for you.
No, see, it blocks the moneymaker.
What do you mean, the face?
Yeah.
Wait, I want to see the video when it comes up. Right. I can look it over there. No, this is good for me. I'm gonna put it up a little bit.
Every time I look up on this and there's a delay, all I see is this. Me.
Yeah. All I see is like me looking down. It ain't unusual
To be loved by anyone.
So I was recently I stay in a lot of hotels when I'm on the road, and I needed to look up. I needed to pull up my email on their computer, the hotel's computer, so I could print out a script for an audition. And for some reason, it wasn't working from my phone. So I have at home. I have a Mac computer. Mm-hmm. You know, so theirs was Windows. You know, whatever.
Oh.
So I had to like do the fingering and the mouse and stuff like that. And I was on there for like a good hour or two. And then when I got home, I went onto my computer and I was doing all the wrong, like, oh, wait, things that became like second nature. I'm like, I was all screwed up. I'm like, oh, no, you don't, no, you tap the center twice when you want to return. You don't hit, And that reminded me when I was younger. And like one of my first girlfriends, it was like, I'm young and stupid. I'm like 22 years old. And I met someone else and we were hanging out and we were like, when you're younger, you make out for like hours, right? Uh-huh. For hours. And then like a week later, I'm with my current girlfriend and we start getting into it. She's like, you're kissing different. I was kissing different because I was seeing the other girl for a few days. So I got in trouble. I got caught by my movements were different because people have patterns when they kiss. I've noticed, me personally, people have patterns and kissing is so important. There are times I've like been attracted to somebody and they're just horrible freaking kissers. Horrible. There was one woman that, many years ago, I was dating her and she was like, she put a lot of emphasis on just the bedroom and they got to do this, that. And then I get in the bedroom and she was the worst kisser, right? And it was just awful to the point where she was just like, she wouldn't move her lips. She would just take a tongue and go like back and forth like, I'm like, what is that? I'm like, who taught you how to kiss like that? That's awful. And I got to be honest,
that's so funny.
I couldn't get into it, if you know what I mean. The little guy's like, nah, I'm not into this.
No, this is not a good situation. I guess kissing really is important.
It's so
very
important.
Intimate.
It is so important.
But I think that's also a lot of thing with married couples. Like married couples tend to not really make out, right?
Yeah, the kissing ends.
How many old married couples do you know lay on the couch at night and watch Dateline and they don't see who killed somebody because they're making out?
Right. When does making out stop?
Pretty early on, I think.
It does stop early on, right? Kissing's good, but anyway, I remember saying to this is perfect, Tony, thank you. I was saying to a friend of mine who was also with her at the time, he was joking around. I said, yeah, I heard you couldn't get into it. No, I said something like, I couldn't get into it, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, F you. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, she told you that I couldn't get into it? I'm like, oh, you too? I said, me. I said, she put so much emphasis on sex, and all of a sudden she's an awful kisser. He goes, yes! Her kissing was like so bad, you just couldn't get past it. You couldn't get past it. It was awful.
That's something else. That's like a very Larry David episode.
Yeah, it is so Larry David, yeah.
Like this hot woman that you just have been waiting on for months and months and months. And then she's finally alone with you, and she's like, and you're like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
You never got to see how she kissed, Tony. She kissed like this.
This girl he dated once years ago.
I dated her like in my 20s, and my friend dated her too, and we were both laughing like we couldn't get into it because the kissing. Now she goes around and tells people that we have sexual dysfunction. We're like, no.
It was your
it was
tongue
you.
lady.
It was you.
Dysfunction was your...
Listen, there have been times I'm like, listen, I drank too much. It was me, but no. This time it was clearly you.
Yeah.
Who taught you to kiss like that?
There's a pattern here.
We got to take turns sipping.
Oh, we kissed
we
in...
We sit together. Yeah. When I was a police officer, they always said when you're in the car, you have these activity logs, and if somebody's writing in their activity log, the other person's supposed to be looking around. You never write your activity logs together because then you both have your heads down and you're vulnerable. You just reminded me of that. Thank you.
Huh. That was like a core memory that just got deleted, and you brought it back. I unleashed it.
A core memory. And
it's like when a new fear becomes unlocked. I hear these things going on in the world, and I'm like, oh, that's a new fear unlocked. I can't live near a river.
God, yes. Oh, my God, that's so horrible.
These poor people in Texas.
Those poor people, God bless them. They found those two girls holding their rosaries. I'm like, yes, the two little girls. How do you know what? Let's not even get into it.
No, I'm not getting into that, but I love my mother. She has the TV on. We have a little living room upstairs. My mother lives with us. And my husband is no longer living there. He has his own place, and my son was away for a couple of days, so it's just the two of us. And she listens to the TV so loud. Yeah. And she had on the news. That was like a news cycle of just this horrible story. And I finally came out. I go, Mom, I can't take it anymore. I can't hear this anymore. She goes, me neither. I go, fucking shut the TV. She's like, I know. It's like all day. I'm like, but you have it on.
She can't stop watching it.
I don't understand.
When I watch TV, because we're in a smaller apartment now, and she goes to bed at 10, like I said, and I'm watching TV, and I have to have that remote in my hand on the volume, because let's say I'm watching it at volume 16, and that's a good volume, right? It doesn't bother. All of a sudden,
that's super low.
All of a sudden, there's a car crash, and the volume shoots up. I got to bring it down to 8, or else I'll get a text like, please lower that. She'll text me, please lower that.
Now, you know what my mom did for that solution because of that?
What?
She got herself a pair of Beats.
Oh.
So now she watches the TV in the corner like this, in her bed, with snacks and the cats, and we hear nothing except her. Rosie, look who's on Gutfeld. It's your friend, that guy, the guy, DeVito. He's funny. Look your friend, the guy you know from the day. I'm like, oh my God.
Please tell me you do your mother on stage, impersonate her. It's
I do.
Great.
I have to do more of it.
Oh, you got to write more. It's so great.
Oh, today was the best.
That's what's so great about why I want to do a podcast, because now this is a bit right here.
It is. My mother today.
Your mother with the headset? That's hysterical.
Oh my God, First of all, and then she's on gummies and tells me they don't work.
Jesus Christ. You would think like
she laughs at Gutfeld like she's watching the fucking movie Bridesmaids. I've never in my life. She's like, these guys are the funniest people in the whole entire world. Did you know that your friend was missing for a while? I was like, yeah, I saw him actually. And he told me that he was gone because he had a hip replacement. Oh my God, I can't believe you know that. Like, right. She's like,
DeVito had a hip replacement, right?
She's like a super fan.
He was a power lifter.
I told him recently that when next time you are like headlining at Governor's, I have to bring my mother.
Right.
And she has to meet you.
Oh.
Like, but not even in the front where he stands and everybody kisses his ass. Like, she's coming back here.
Yeah, he's a good
and he's
dude.
got to give her a hug. She is like...
Joe's a great guy.
I think she wanted to send him like Cheryl's cookies, like to get well. Like, she's obsessed with him.
Who's Cheryl?
Cheryl makes cookies in individual little plastic things, and they're Oh, so good. I'm going to bring you some Cheryl's cookies.
A friend of ours, one of my wife's clients, she had these cookies it was Madison's Cookie Crunch, and they were those, what do you call them, like toffee with chocolate. They're thin toffee with chocolate and peanut.
I love those.
They were,
like bakery ones?
They were unbelievable.
The little rounds?
There was those rectangles. Like they make it a sheet, like thin, they chop them up in squares. What do you call those? The toffee and the chocolate, the peanuts, whatever. They're like probably like very thin.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like
thin.
all that shit.
It was so good, and the company was taken off, and then they got so big that they started to mass produce.
And it wasn't as good.
And when we got them, like they were good, but they weren't like when they made them.
Yeah.
They were still good. They were still very good. My wife makes every Christmas, I think she calls it like white trash bark or something like that.
So good.
With
the pretzels.
Saltines, saltine crackers.
Oh my God. White trash like
yes.
Christmas bark or whatever.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, she'll do a tray with coconut.
It's got like butter.
Yes.
And saltines.
So whoever I date
Tony
next,
would hate it.
Whoever I date or marry next, you gotta be okay with.
Tony's like, "What?"
Whoever my next person I date or marry, there's a lot to offer with Diane.
Yeah, you should have a throuple.
Yes.
Maybe you would both like a throuple.
I follow a throuple online.
I need to know about these
on
people.
Instagram. Throuple.
I'm fascinated by throuples.
I think I could do it. I think I could be a throuple, but I don't know if I don't think Diane could be a throuple. No, I don't think so.
No, you guys would make too much of a mess.
Yeah, especially
she'd be Windexing and she'd be wiping all over the place.
Like what if she was like an OCD person? Now I have two women.
Oh my God!
Tell me what a pig I am. Diane goes up to the side of my bed. She's like, I'm going to take a picture of the side of your bed and post it on social media, you pig, for everybody to see. She leaves. That's one area I got to say she allows me to have. It's like a 2 foot by 5 foot section of carpet, and I have to have the bed furthest away from the door so she doesn't have to look at it.
Yes. When she walks in. I agree.
So I have that little section, and once in a while when it gets out of hand, there'll be a couple bottles on the floor, clothes, and maybe stuff I was writing, crumpled up loose leaf sheets, and she's, I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to, or she would take a picture of my clothes on the floor like 3 feet from the hamper. Stuff like
I don't
that.
understand why men do that. Boys do that. They just do that. My son, in the morning, Cole, please just put your clothes in the hamper. He puts them on the floor right near the hamper.
All right.
Inside out. It just absolutely, it's like he does it on purpose to just make me lose my mind.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Lose my mind.
And now she's got this pointer finger. I don't know if you saw any of those videos she makes with her pointer finger. It's like a long stick with a tiny pointer finger, and she goes around pointing the things I do wrong, like, excuse me, she'll point. God, sorry.
What the hell are you drinking over there? You're not even drinking anything. Oh, you should. If you drank Mexican fart water, you'd just be sitting here. You just puke.
Hey, Tony, can you delete that? Anyway, I just farted out my mouth. God. What did I eat? Oh, I had an acai bowl and a coffee. My two favorite combos. Acai bowl and coffee. Cookie butter. Yes. I got to come back on the cookie butter because I'm fat.
I love acai bowls.
Love.
Have you had pliables yet?
I've seen that. I thought they were playables. Is it like they?
No, playa is the beach in Spanish.
No, what are they like? What's in them?
What's up, playa?
What up? Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Playa.
It's playa.
I think it's playa for the beach because it's like a.
Is it Filipino?
No, it's like these two hippies. They started this little stand and now it's a chain.
And
they make shakes and acai bowls and they do like steel cut oatmeal. Oh. And the place inside is super cute. And anywhere that has a sticker every month, I'm in. I'm a big sticker fan.
What do you mean sticker every month?
It's like every month they have a different sticker.
Okay.
They're so cute.
God.
Mm-hmm. Pliable, delicious. You would love it. Absolutely love it.
I'm not picking. I'm itching. All right. I think we're almost about an hour, right, buddy?
It's an hour, yeah.
Oh, it is an hour.
Yeah, but you got more to say it.
I got more to say to you, Rosie. Damn it.
Tell me everything.
I want an acai bowl. I want an acai bowl.
I think I might go to Playa Bowl on the way home.
What if you got caught in the bathroom of a sleep center eating acai bowl in the toilet? I don't know. Anyway, I can't believe I missed that lawsuit by 3 freaking weeks.
I can't believe it either.
God. Damn it. Damn it. All right. So, anyway, this week I'm heading over to the Comedy Vault in Batavia, Illinois.
Ooh.
One show on Thursday, two Friday, two Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. You have anything coming up, Rosie, you want to promote?
I have a show in Long Beach at Bright Eye Beer Brewery, July 31st. I didn't do too much in July because I have family that always comes and stays.
Summers are tough as a comedian, by the way.
Summer
August.
is tough. I actually have 3 shows in August.
That's pretty good.
I have 3 shows in August and 1 for September. I have a lot going on at work. I'm going to have to step up a little bit more and do a little bit more there. This is our busy season, so that's
Right.
kind of normal, but also some other stuff going on. So it's kind of good that I don't have too much. I'm just going to kind of...
Good.
I'm going to try to utilize my time because I'm going to have to commute into the city a day or 2 a week now.
Why?
And I'm going to try to write on the train.
That's the best.
And it's not
best
that
time
bad
to
of a
write.
commute. From Long Beach, it's like only 45 minutes.
No, but to write, yeah.
But I feel like if I put headphones on, even if it's white
It's
noise.
the way to do it, yes.
And I just kind of, because I do want to write a lot about my mother. I
You have.
so much.
Right. And just, I would
She's
recommend...
such a Debbie Downer. There's so many things she says that I just go, womp, womp.
Right, and just riff about it. Things. That's the best is when you write something and you bring it on stage, and all of a sudden you start riffing, like the magic happens. It's the best. So I think that's going to happen with your mom. You're going to be on stage talking about things about her, then all of a sudden something's going to click. You're like,
She just gets mad that I say she's 85,
she's 85,
but she's really going to be 82
Oh.
in August. I'm not. She'll say I'm not really 85. I'm like, Ma, if you're going to come to the show, shut up.
right.
Just don't blow up my spot.
My father loved when they made fun of him. Loved.
She likes it.
Yeah, they
I know
like
she
it.
secretly likes it, but she doesn't as a woman. She doesn't like that I age her a little bit.
Right. Every year counts. All right, peoples. Thanks for listening to the Psychology of Fuckery with Chris Roach and Rosie
Fiumara.
Fiumara, your mother.
At least you
And
try.
I'll get it down, I promise. Thanks, guys. And thank you, Tony Walker, on the 1 and 2.
We love you, Tony. He's the best.